Ford produced the second generation Mustang from 1974 to 1978. It wasn't until this last year that the King Cobra became available. This was a limited edition version with 4,313 cars produced. It featured a deep air dam, body pinstriping, and a Pontiac Trans Am styled Cobra snake decal on the hood. The King Cobra was only available with a V8 to help bolster the car's performance image. The King Cobra's engine was a 2-barrel 5-liter 302 cubic inch V8, which produced a mere 140 horsepower. Testing by Road and Track recorded a dismal 0 to 60 time of 10.5 seconds and a top speed of 106 miles per hour. On the momentum of the Mustang II's successful sales, a totally new Mustang would be introduced for the 1979 model year. Here's the details. I just wanted to start this review off by saying how impressed I am with Greenlight and the attention to detail that they gave this car. Everything from louvers, T-tops, ground effects, printed on decals, three-dimensional emblems, and the list goes on and on. I'm very impressed with this car, and it definitely ranks in my top 5. So having a look at the rear quarter there, the side marker treatment they gave this car, I believe that's some type of a candy apple red painted piece, and then of course the trim ring is painted body color around it. They did a pretty nice job on the wheels. They're chrome plated. The inset is painted orange, and that was to accent the body stripes. The center cap is a little Cobra emblem, and I like the white lettered Firestone steel radial tires. And there's our first little peek at some of the ground effects that the King Cobra had. And there is a King Cobra decal that is actually printed on the door. The door lock and door pull are just painted silver. And here is one of the unique side window louvers. That's just made out of matte black plastic. And just like on the Sunstar's Camaro Z28, the little radio antenna nub there is actually molded right into the front fender. I kind of wish it was a posable antenna, you know, where you could pull it out or push it back in if you so chose to do. And there is the front wheel. Good detail with all the little lug nuts there surrounding the Cobra center cap. And there's a little bit more of the front. Once again, this piece, I believe, it is some kind of a candy apple reflective paint. I guess in this case, not so much apple, but orange. But nonetheless, it reflects really well and is very realistic looking. Here is the back of our King Cobra, featuring a high-mounted rear spoiler. The spoiler decal is kind of a yellowish gold color, and it's got King Cobra printed on it. The taillights are transparent red pieces, and the yellow portion is transparent yellow, but they painted the backside just to give it a little more pronounced look. And here's one of the three-dimensional emblems I was talking about. The Ford letters there, if you run your fingers over them, they're raised up. And the trunk lock is actually its own separate chrome piece as well. It's kind of too bad they didn't give that treatment to the doors with the door locks and door pulls. And of course they've got the pinstriping wrapping around the bumper cover. And here's just a little bit different view. You can kind of see a little bit of the suspension components and the exhaust system. And now let's have a look at some of the rear hatch details. We'll start with the zooming in on the louvers. It's just made out of plastic, and it's got kind of a satin black finish to it. You can see they've kind of given us some hinge details at the top there, and the reason why they had those is so you could lift them up to wash the glass. And they did a pretty nice job inside the hatch area here. You can see we've got the simulated carpeting texture throughout. That round part there is to simulate a spare tire cover. And you can see that they've even given the seat back the simulated carpet treatment as well. I'm really glad that they decided to make the rear hatch posable on this car. I was a little disappointed with Sunstar's Z28 when you couldn't actually open it. And here we are at the front of the car. Greenlight has included lots of good detail. We've got simulated texturing on the headlamps, and there are your clear lens indicator lights, a nice chrome Cobra grill emblem, and the grill isn't solid, it's perforated all the way through to the inside the engine compartment there, so that's really nice. And once again, the pinstripe wraps around the front bumper cover. And here's a little different perspective of the front air dam. It really completes the look of this car, gives it a very aggressive look from the front. I wouldn't know what to think if I saw this thing coming up in my rear view mirror. About the only defect I came across with this car is on the front passenger side air dam here. You can see it's just a little bit loose. I could probably put a drop or two of glue from the bottom side to actually hold it in place, but it's stiff enough that it's going to stay where it's at, and I probably won't even mess with it. And I think one of the coolest features about the King Cobra was its hood. It's been compared to like a Firebird or Trans Am style hood. And that decal is printed on there. And just like on the back, the FORD are three-dimensional emblems. And similarly to the Trans Am, Ford has the 5.0 kind of on a shaker style hood, where the Trans Ams would say like 6.6. We've got our 5.0 decal there. Alrighty, let's have a look under the hood. You're probably going to need the assistance of one of these little plastic pick tools. There's just no real good area to try to get your fingernail under there to get it started, and this particular hood is pretty stiff, so we've got a pretty nice little engine compartment there. The engine is all painted up Ford blue. A nice silver air cleaner with a decal. We do get some rubber hoses and wires and stuff. There's a rubber piece. The radiator hose is actually hard plastic. Here's another rubber piece. And this hose in the back is rubber. One thing I thought that was kind of weird are these engine stiffener uppers. I thought those might have been made out of rigid plastic, but no, they're actually kind of rubber too, and I thought that was just kind of weird. Here's our brake boost, painted gold. And you can see even we got a decal on the fan shroud, and they've even kind of painted in a little black belt there on the pulley. One other thing I kind of liked about the engine compartment is you can actually see the exhaust manifolds. So that's a nice little extra added detail that you can actually see. And now let's have a look at some of the interior details. For the most part, a lot of the interior is just made out of hard black plastic. You can see they've given the door some silver accent treatment with the window crank and the door latch pull. And I'm not sure how well the camera's picking it up, but they've got a little bit of simulated texture there in that door panel. And you can see they've got a little speaker grill down there too. And sliding on in to the passenger seat, we can see that they've given us the simulated carpeting texture both on the floorboards and on the center console there. The seats are a hard plastic, but they did give us a couple of silver trim pieces. And I like the texture that they gave to the seat cushions. And taking a closer look at the dash, like I said before, it's just made out of a hard black plastic, but they've given us quite a few silver accents. You can see they've painted the vents black, and I guess that's the clock there, right there in the middle. It always reads noon. And they've given us a little chrome accent piece for the glove box lock. And there's our center console with the emergency brake and T-shifter handle. One thing I thought that was kind of cool, I don't know if I can zoom in a whole lot more. I believe that that's the radio. It's kind of a decal, but these are supposed to be the radio buttons, I think. And I think that's another three-dimensional decal there. You can see the pick is catching on what would be the knobs and push buttons there, so that's pretty cool. All the gauge faces are highly detailed decals. And I wanted to kind of point out the key switch there in the steering wheel. That's a chrome accent piece too. Nice little detail. And here we are at the driver's side door. Just a little more detail of that. And sliding into the driver's seat. Take a little closer look at the dash. I really like all the gauge faces and everything. You can see the needles and the numbers. They've got various switches and other instrument controls down here that are labeled. Your turn signal has a little silver accent on it. Here's your headlight pole, I believe, right there. The center portion of the steering wheel is nicely chromed out. Looks like they give us a little decal of some sort where the horn would be. I guess that's a little hint of a seat belt right down there, maybe. One of the other features I really liked about this car is the T-top roof there. Unfortunately, the panels are not removable. I think that would have been awesome if they were. And you've even got a good place to store them since the rear hatch opens up, but no dice. And here's the underside of the King Cobra. You can see some of the engine detail from down below here. The wheels are posable, and they do have active suspension, so very cool. There's not quite as much detail on the floor pan as in other models, but I guess that's okay. Greenlight 2013 and 1978 Ford Mustang King Cobra printed there on the bottom. Your exhaust is fully painted all the way back. There's your fuel tank. Of course, the back tires spin, and they are also active. The drive shaft is not hooked up at all. So this has been a review of Greenlight's 1978 Ford Mustang King Cobra. If you are a Mustang fan or just a 1/18th collector looking for a unique piece to add to your collection, I would highly recommend considering this car. I think they did a great job on all the detail. I really like the pinstriping, the black paint, the decal on the hood, the three-dimensional emblems. Some people may think that this is a really ugly car and it's just a dog, but you know what? I really like it.